All right, figured I'd pop on here since some of the setups that I literally just went over on my recorded video are starting to play out. We have our SUI hourly higher low is set. So we've been watching this all day. It's the volume that's coming in, at least on XC right now, is pretty nice. You know, you have increasing volume as price goes up and sets this hourly higher low. We had a lot of volume in Incision. We got this kind of wick that I wicked out this morning on my larger 2000 SUI position, but now we are at, hold on one second, let me just get the live up here. There we go. Now we have a 1000 SUI position, so it's something to build off of. If we get another hourly higher low, we can target. Maybe we get some kind of trend going finally, but so far this has been very sideways. Almost 15 overbought finally. And we're getting some crosses on, do we get any crosses on the 30 yet? No, we were watching in the other video hourly crosses here. We're getting 30, so we have momentum starting to shift. We have the first, oh, not the first. We had a fake out cross here. We have a cross here as price goes higher. Still waiting for that hourly to cross. And finally get some green waves here that we can use in addition to our price action. But really would love to target at least 382. Give me a bounce into resistance, something to take some profit into. You know, it's been a kind of tough one to trade. But like I said, zoomed out, we are focused on the monthly time frame, weekly time frame, 2-week time frame, and pretty tight on the weekly there. Pretty tight on the 2-week. We really have this compression that we want to see expansion. So I am watching for expansion, just keeping that in my head. You know, it all starts a single spark and start a huge fire, and that's like right now this position that's only an $18 profit. If we do the math on, and ends up being the weekly higher low, and you get up to that $6 range to start, like I said, you're talking about almost $3,000. So that's just in general things that can turn into larger, you know, small positions. Got to start out somewhere. So, and that's something you can build off of too once you get a trend, a 4-hour trend, like something like back here. So these moments are just kind of tough as far as like, you don't know what's going to happen, and you're positioning and trying to get a position just in case, but also trying to make it large enough that if you get risk-free on a big enough bounce, you're not left with peanuts as a runner if you do have the bigger move play out. So just keeping that in mind and keeping the bigger picture in mind, because if we go up here and get $300, it doesn't do anything for us. You know, we need more than to keep the challenge going. So we are going to see what happens with price and what price dictate what we do next. But I bet you we're running to the 4-hour EMA here. Yeah, so we're running to 4-hour EMA on 15 overbought. We do have momentum starting to wane a little bit. You can see the wave rider is starting to go yellow from this bright pink. So we are running into resistance, but at the same time we don't have this big bear move anymore. And I really do like the volume on this candle. This 4-hour candle has larger volume than the whole move down, which is kind of nice to see. There's some interest in SUI right now. I wonder what SUI BTC looks like. I want to look at that too. Get pump out of here. Let's look at SUI BTC. So kind of doing the same thing. Are we kind of above the 4-hour? So on SUI BTC, we ran this low area. Let me just draw it as an area because kind of snug up here. And we have this wick below on the daily. I don't hate it on the daily, you know. 1, 2, 3. Still potential bull flag, 3-day. It's getting a make it or break it zone though. You know, look at the 5-day is nice. So we're gonna set some alerts here if we break that resistance. Weekly, same thing, compression all around, you know. Compression, tight, no big moves, signs of tightening, volatility expected soon. So could be volatility down. You got to be open to anything, you know, but that SUI BTC. I know we are also looking at SUI ETH, which we'll probably have to do manually. Look at it on both on Coinbase. So yeah, you can pull up ratio charts like that manually if you just type them in. I think he did daily uptrend, no follow through, weekly. Did start to get, we have a 4-week bounce, but it's pretty weak bounce at this point. So I'm also going to set some alerts above there. Potentially looking for a 3-month higher low, so gotta keep these longer time frames in mind. But overall, it's definitely not the cleanest on against ETH. And if we look at ETH dominance, I can figure out where to get it. I gotta switch these manually in OBS because for some reason, every time I set up scenes to switch it, I just have the worst performance and it just really bothers me. Yeah, here's ETH dominance. ETH dominance has 4 or 5 weeks down since we tested the all-time high. So really giving some other alts a chance to break out here would be nice. I'm not really betting on like, is it going to happen in September? Is it going to happen in October? I'm just going to let the charts tell me when it happens. So we have alerts set. We have our triggers, and that's what we're going with. This is a big range here, so potentially almost setting and looking at the midpoint. Same thing with total. And total is more of a weekly tightening range with EMA support above resistance. So I see all this stuff about how, oh man, I changed the wrong thing. My bad. So this is supposed to be Ray Bowser. Hold on a sec. Still getting used to this OBS. Okay. So that's what we want to change. Let's change this to, there we go, sorry. Now we were looking at ETH dominance here. Is it switching? Am I saying QQQ? There we go, okay. So here is ETH dominance as a range, 4 weeks down. Looking at total, I'm seeing a lot of people say the bull run's over, alt season's never coming, blah, blah, blah. I to the record, do not care about the term alt season whatsoever. It means absolutely not. I mean, it doesn't mean nothing, but it's not anything that you just wait forever and you rely on. There's been multiple 1,000+ moves on some coins in the last few months, like Hype, Aster, BNB's been strong. There's been a lot of smaller projects that are kind of the flavor of the week, but I guess there hasn't been like a 2021 style throw a dart at anything and it goes up. I don't think that'll really happen again, to be honest, but so many of those names are just at the lows, and Black Dirt Breakdown, there's no reason that they should ever go anywhere near the highs again. So we're just going to focus on the names that are stronger, and then we don't have to care when alt season comes. But if we get an alt season-ish, it'll also be some fuel for our longs, But this is consolidating above. It broke out and now it's consolidating above. So I don't. Everyone's saying bearish, it's over. It could be, but until we get down here, that's still have a bullish bias overall because of that. What's QQQ doing? Oh, see, we're testing low day again, so that's going to be important for Bitcoin. I was hoping this is the hammer. We have the hourly higher low here, but it's getting dragged down a little bit with QQQ. Let's look back at our alts and our open positions here. So SUI got the hourly. We are kind of rejecting right now from the 4-hour EMA, but I would want to see 5-minute uptrend lost before I maybe pull half my position and wait again. So a lot of waiting going on, a lot of waiting going on, but capital preservation, like I said. So we are watching this breakout and see if it sticks, but with QQQ going back down a low a day, Bitcoin going back down a low a day, we could just shop around some more until we make some more decisive move. So let's look at the 2-minute. So 2-minute, we did get a downtrend confirmed. We didn't make a new high in that 2-minute there. Have 3. Let's get rid of these order blocks. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Yeah, the 5 minutes is going to be my guide for now because we are holding above this for now. So if this becomes a wick on Bitcoin like the last 3 hours have been, then maybe we get towards that daily high that we just set again, which is also 4-hour EMA 12. But with QQQ at low a day right here, it's going to be a big test of, do we have any divergent strength or do we just roll over with it? There hasn't been any strength in the morning or anything like crazy separating crypto from traditional markets at all. So there's really no reason that I would think that could happen, but anything could happen, you know. If we had held QQQ was making new lows and Bitcoin was making new highs, there was SMTs on like 4-hour time frames, then I would be a little more inclined to that. But this could also just be a wick and we head up for the afternoon on QQQ into the close, and the bears didn't really prove too much right now. Let's take a look at QQQ actually. I know I gotta switch this manually every single time. It's really annoying. QQQ. Hourly, 24 minutes to go. Holding. Hourly EMA 12. Hasn't really had the most touches. It's not really the... But it's a guide. It's definitely a guide, but has these taps below pretty often, you know. We are pretty... I mean, we're at all-time highs extended, so... But considering we're at all-time highs, really extended, bears trying to prove something, we're just kind of grinding on down on not... I mean, the volume's all right. We'll keep an eye on this. You know, I'm gonna set some alerts here and look at Bitcoin here. Now, here's the low a day for when QQQ was hitting low a day. We were down here, and we are having a little bit of divergent strength, but that could go away in 15 seconds, you know, because it is kind of heading on down again too. And the hourly, same thing. It's got some hourly wicks of profit taking here into, got a vector candle here that hasn't fully recovered and rolling back over, back down at 112,700. Look at a scenario if we were to maybe see sub 100 before we see another potential push at all-time highs. What that would mean for alts would be really important. Maybe we get some nice shorts, but or maybe they hold and then we get some moves down here. But I'm not opposed to that. Letting right now the daily be my guide because we don't have a daily downtrend just yet. So the burden's not really, the burden's still on bears, even though we got this flush of this 12-hour rising wedge. Burden's still on bears, in my opinion, to prove it. I mean, prove it down to 90, like flush to 98 in like a day or two. You know, take this June lows, and then you say, oh, something's definitely changing here. So until that happens, I just gotta play what's in front of me. Until that happens, total loses this breakout that it's holding. I'm still looking to position long for potential weekly, monthly bounces on longs on alts, even though it's been kind of frustrating because we haven't hit anything large in months. You know, the last big things we were hitting were like what was a nice trade we took. Fine was a nice one. We got SEI earlier in the summer. Actually, if I look at SEI, I was looking at it like 4 o'clock this morning, and it has a really clean weekly EQ. Ah, that's let's go over to why it's got so small here. Something happened. QQQ is full size. Let's just drag it over to the QQQ window then. Technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay. So we have a clean weekly EQ. And we are in a monthly downtrend with a lot of these upper wicks. So I think the next 7 days will be telling on this name too. This EMA is holding as resistance. The weekly is tightening up. There is something to be said if this breaks bear that there's a higher probability that this 3-month lower high is in. So could change, but really burdens on the bulls with this one. But very clean weekly EQ to let us know which way it's going to break. But look at this name compared to Sui. It's the same like compression, smaller moves on the weekly time frame, waiting for the next signal from the market up or down. But we're down here versus up here looking for a breakout. So there's a lot more overhead supply that has to be chewed through. So I mean, I think it could maybe bounce up to here. We're not sure yet, but keeping an eye on it and seeing if there's a play here. If this breaks bullish, I will probably look for a daily high or low. On the daily, just sideways. So no play right now. I'm not going to guess which way it's going on this name versus playing anything that's closer to all-time highs. AVAX was another one. See if I can switch these windows. Trading view window. Drag it over too. So AVAX was another one that's been strong. But let's look at it on zoomed out time frame. Similar to SEI with the 3-month monthly downtrend, but this one's a little more of maybe a 6-month EQ. You know, there's on the higher time frame, there's a little more info, and although we're setting lower highs, still I guess in a little better position than what we just looked at, but still 300% to the 2021 highs on a name that's been around since 2021. There's a lot to get that 300%, a lot of money needed. So although it's had some relative strength recently, good for some scalps and stuff like that, because you know it's been lower time frame strong. I don't know if we focus on it as a swing for towards all-time highs. I think you're really fighting against momentum there. So anyway, Bitcoin still at this level. We have sideways 15-minute downtrend. Hourly. Yeah, just kind of bleeding out a little bit, and QQQ is heading back towards lower day here too. So we have alerts above and below. Keep an eye on that. See if anything else is moving and grooving. If you hear anything in the background that makes those noises, it's usually my terminal, which is so many windows in here to select. Maybe I just use display capture. I wonder if that would be better instead of switching this all manually, because I literally have 75 windows right now that I have to choose from and find the one that I'm looking for, and I can't find it right now because it's not coming up. I could add it right now. I add display capture. Want this screen? It's gonna show the whole. Ooh, what's going on here? To window and manual. Oh no, it's just gonna goes over. Never mind. Basically I use an Orion terminal to get alerts on what's moving in the moment, and that's what those noises are in the background. Like right now, it's showing the highest rate of change in the last 5 minutes. We have AVNT up there, OG up there, MYX, ZEC, and I use it for volatility tickers and delta as well as OI. But I'll get more into that a little later. For now, we're just managing these trades. What do we got since we started this little stream? Sui is not dead on the 5-minute just yet. I said I was waiting for the 5-minute downtrend, and Bitcoin's putting pressure on that right now, but it has not happen just yet. No, we are probably. Are we probably in negative on this trade now? Around $3 from $20. I'm saying we need this breakout to happen, and if we get down to around 338 and we see another push up and a lower high and 5-minute downtrend, I'll probably exit my position and just wait. So small cuts, cut death by 1,000 cuts kind of hurt sometimes, but sometimes it's what you have to do in this chop to survive and stay alive for a bigger move and realize some gains. But right now, Bitcoin's at the lows for the day. I mean, it's the lows for the last few hours. It is following QQQ down now. QQQ just crossed 600. See if we can get another bear break without follow through. And Bitcoin's down at 112.577. So definitely some pressure on the market. AVNT, I was playing the 15-minute. It's just sideways. So there's still bullfight potential on 15-minute. I'm going to keep that open. I wouldn't be surprised if that stopped out too, especially if Bitcoin flushes here, then all these will probably get stopped out and we'll just sit on our hands for the day and say, you know what, it is what it is. We'll take probably $75 loss in the day and then try again when conditions and trades are more in our favor. Don't know if that's tomorrow, don't know if that's tonight, don't know if that's tomorrow afternoon. We will see. But let's leave it here. See if this 5-minute downtrend confirms I'm silly, I'll get out of this trade. Right now we do have a bull break without follow through into the 4-hour EMA, and we still need to, because we kind of have a 4-hour uptrend, but this is what happens towards the bottom, towards, you know, on these big flushes. Look at them, you get choppy price action, and this right here could be the start of something like this. You know, you have your first dip down and then you remain here for 3 months waiting for momentum to shift on the daily again. It's all possible, you know. Keep an eye on it and see what happens next. But right now, we're probably going to Exitville soon. We're about break even in this trade. So if we get a push up, I may just exit break even and then just wait. And I'm more active with my trades on this account and stuff like that because I'm in capital preservation mode versus a spot account where I will have definitely, you know, a 2R on that account. Or not 2R, risk reward on that account is going to be much larger. So for this account, we keep things tight. And if we get an entry here, we're playing off this being the accumulation and we're looking for a move up. And if that doesn't happen, we can just pull out of the trade and wait for it to be more in our favor. But yes, it's the struggles of the daily day trading crypto and day trading market stocks and commodities. But that's it for now. Gonna stop saying and sign off here. Do not have the 5-minute downtrend yet on SUI, so there's no reason to close the trade yet, but it is under pressure. All right, peace.